In the quiet corridors of justice, where sworn protectors are meant to uphold the law, lurks a darkness rarely seen. This is the story of Rosemary Ndlovu, a South African policewoman, a sister, a lover, and a cold-blooded serial killer. She wore the badge of honor, yet behind closed doors, she orchestrated murders with terrifying precision. Not of strangers, but of those who trusted her most, her own family, her own blood. This is not just a tale of murder. It's a descent into the horrifying power of greed, manipulation, and the betrayal of the deepest human bonds. Her story is one of the most horrifying cases of familial treachery in South African criminal history. A cop turned serial killer who murdered those closest to her, not in rage or self-defense, but for insurance payouts. Cold, calculated, repeated. Prepare yourself. This is the chilling case of the killer cop, Rosemary Ndlovu. Nomia Rosemary Ndlovu was born around 1978 in Bushbuckridge, a rural area in Mpumalanga province, South Africa. Details of her early childhood are sparse, but like many, she sought better opportunities, moving to Johannesburg. It was there that she eventually joined the South African Police Service, SAPS, embarking on a career that to many symbolized protection and adherence to the law. She underwent training and was later stationed at the Tembisa police station, eventually rising to the rank of sergeant. To her colleagues and the public, she presented the image of a respected police officer. Some workmates later recalled her being a gambling addict who would sometimes evade work due to loan sharks. This early glimpse into financial strain and a hidden compulsion would later take on a sinister significance. Rosemary Ndlovu's life as a police officer seemed on the surface unremarkable for years. She was part of the very system designed to combat crime. However, beneath this veneer of lawfulness, a horrifying transformation was taking place. The precise catalyst for her descent into a life of calculated murder is linked to greed and a ruthless exploitation of life and funeral insurance policies. Instead of upholding the law, Ndlovu began to see her own family members not as loved ones, but as potential financial windfalls. Rosemary Ndlovu had a live-in partner, Maurice Mabasa, who was also the father of her child. While specific details of their marriage life are not widely publicized, reports from those who knew Mabasa paint a picture of a man who was well-liked and respected within his community. He was, by all accounts, a good man, loved by many. It was in October 2015 that Maurice Mabasa's life was brutally cut short. His body was discovered dumped in Olifantsfontein, bearing a shocking 76 stab wounds. His death was initially investigated as a tragic act of violence. However, as Ndlovu's reign of terror unfolded, the suspicious circumstances surrounding Mabasa's murder would come under renewed scrutiny. It later emerged that Ndlovu had taken out multiple death policies in his name, collecting over 131,000 rand from his untimely demise. This established a chilling pattern that would characterize her subsequent actions. Between 2012 and 2018, Rosemary Ndlovu orchestrated the murders of 6 people, her live-in partner, and 5 of her own relatives, all for the calculated purpose of cashing in on their life and funeral insurance policies. She accumulated approximately Rand 1.4 million, $93,000 USD at the time of her arrest through these heinous acts. The victims and the chilling methods used include Madala Witness Homu, cousin. March 2012, Ndlovu's first known victim. Homu was found beaten to death in Olifantsfontein. For his death, Ndlovu received over 131,000 in insurance payouts. Audrey Ndlovu, sister, June 2013. While staying at Rosemary's house, Audrey was murdered by a combination of poisoning and strangulation. This brought Ndlovu a significant sum of $1,717,421.17 from her insurance policies. June 2013. In the very same month as Audrey's murder, Ndlovu's niece, Zanella Motha, was found beaten to death. Ndlovu collected approximately $119,840 from her death. Maurice Mabasa, boyfriend, father of her child. October 2015. As detailed earlier, Mabasa was brutally stabbed 76 times. Ndlovu received over $131,000 from policies she had taken out on him. Mayeni Mashaba, nephew, April 2017. Mayeni was found murdered in Olifantsfontein, having been seen with Ndlovu the day before his death. Brilliant Mashego, nephew, Audrey's son, January 2018. Brilliant was last seen alive in Ndlovu's company on January 22, 2018, in Bushbuck Ridge and found dead 2 days later. In court, Ndlovu admitted to having taken out funeral policies for him. For many of these murders, Ndlovu enlisted hitmen, meticulously planning the executions, and attempting to make them appear as natural deaths or random acts of violence to ensure the insurance payouts. She presented herself as a grieving relative, carefully navigating the claims process, all while knowing she was the architect of their demise. Rosemary Ndlovu's elaborate murder spree eventually began to unravel. Her undoing came when she attempted to plot the murder of her own sister, Joyce Ndlovu, and Joyce's 5 children, planning to burn them alive in their house. Unbeknownst to Rosemary, one of the men she tried to hire as a hitman, fearing for his own safety and recognizing the chilling pattern, turned to the police. This led to a covert sting operation. Undercover police officers, posing as hitmen, recorded Ndlovu explicitly detailing her murder plots, discussing payment, and even providing directions to her intended victims' homes. The chilling audio and video evidence captured her cold, calculating demeanor as she incited the murders of her own flesh and blood. This irrefutable evidence led to her arrest in March 2018, bringing an end to her reign of terror. The trial of Rosemary Ndlovu became a national spectacle, gripping South Africa with its shocking revelations. The Gauteng High Court, Johannesburg, sitting in Palm Ridge, heard harrowing testimonies from police officers, insurance company representatives, and the man who exposed her. Cell phone records placed Ndlovu in the vicinity of many of her victims before their deaths, further solidifying the state's case. Documents from insurance companies laid bare her strategic opening of policies on her relatives. Despite her denials, claiming she took out policies merely to avoid being financially burdened by their deaths, the overwhelming evidence proved otherwise. On October 22, 2021, Judge Ramarumo Munama delivered the verdict. Rosemary Ndlovu was found guilty of 6 counts of murder. She was also convicted on 4 counts of fraud, 7 counts of incitement to commit murder, including the plot against her sister and her children, and 1 count of attempted murder of her own mother. Rosemary Ndlovu was sentenced to 6 concurrent life terms for the murders. Additionally, she received 10 years for each of the 4 fraud counts, 10 years for each of the 7 incitement to commit murder charges, and 10 years for the attempted murder of her mother, all to run concurrently. This effectively meant she would spend the rest of her life behind bars, a chilling end to a calculating criminal. The impact of Rosemary Ndlovu's crimes on her surviving family was, and remains, immeasurable. The discovery that a trusted family member, a police officer no less, was responsible for the systematic murder of their loved ones for money, caused profound devastation and an unimaginable sense of betrayal. The families of the victims were left to grapple not only with grief, but also with the horrifying realization that their relative was a cold-blooded killer. Rosemary Ndlovu's case ignited a national conversation in South Africa, a country already struggling with high crime rates. It exposed the dark underbelly of greed and shattered notions of familial trust. Her story stands as a stark and horrifying cautionary tale, highlighting the insidious nature of financial desperation and the chilling lengths to which some individuals will go for monetary gain, even if it means extinguishing the lives of their own kin. The scars left by the killer cop serve as a grim reminder of the depths of human depravity and the constant need for vigilance and justice. And so, the chilling tale of Rosemary Ndlovu comes to a close, not just as a story of a serial killer in uniform, but as a haunting reminder of how trust can be betrayed from within. Her actions shattered families, exposed terrifying cracks in the system, and left behind scars that may never fully heal. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching till the end. Your time means everything to us. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, July Media, for more real-life stories, deep true crime investigations, and documentaries that matter. Drop a like, leave a love emoji in the comments, and share this video with your friends and family. Let's keep the conversation going. Help us reach 1,000 views on this video and grow our community to 2,000 subscribers. Until next time, stay safe, stay informed, and may God bless you all. Goodbye.